Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Schemer Playful Cat Burglar Luminous Valentine, who is very much enabling the new Schemer team to reach its probable maximum potential. Just from one skill, and one very gimmicky skill at that. So first off, she's light, she's physical, schemer, ODL, and commander. So interesting picks there. She uses a sword, even though her ult, as you'll find out in this showcase, is very much not using a sword. She is a support ult, so she doesn't do a lot of damage, but she does buff both schemer and commander forces weakness strikes. So I mean, that decent size amount of characters I could get that. And her first skill, the one that really matters for the schemer team, is the AoE state to Schemer and ODL orbs, and then the multi-hit on specifically green orbs, which gives 3 extra attacks. Both of these effects last for 2 turns, and both of these effects, mostly the multi-hit, really starts to help Sokka and Protector Soe cap out their sword gimmick and the attack stacking gimmick. So we will definitely see that in action. The second skill is a pretty powerful 90-point buff. Physical attack for everybody, so only useful by physical allies. Magic units don't care about that. And then synergy resistance down 40%, which by itself is fine. But within the first 5 turns, it's 120%, which is a lot more than fine. So she's going to be a very, very strong burst physical damage buffing character on teams that can definitely use that. And I can think of at least a few. Other than that, her Valor trait seals defense skills, and then her actual dupe trait gives you extra skill points every 2 turns, which you can definitely use on especially burst teams. So let's go ahead and take her into the current Schemer beatdown battle. Alright, so we're just gonna, test the hit counter and the attack stats of what we're getting out of a team that does not have the new Lumi. So this is just full Schemer, except for this Hinata, because we need the multi-hit. The not as good multi-hit, because Sokka, Violet, Laplace, Blanc, they're all on Schemer. We have the follow-up orbs that have been active. We've activated this multi-hit skill every single turn, and we're going to do it again here. So let's just go ahead and let's see. We should still have access to the follow-up orb, so we don't need to do anything with that. We do, yeah, okay. So let's do the multi-hit. So this is now quite an expensive skill, because we had to use it every single turn, because it only lasts for 1 turn, which is a bit unfortunate. I don't really care about the nuke here, I just want to get as many hits as possible, so we're not really worried about Sokka's damage right now in terms of buffing. So let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's just get the hit counter. And we are looking at 142, and then 144, and then up to 162. So we are into the rainbow over 150 hit count, which is pretty much what matters. And we're up to 176 hits. Okay, I mean, that's pretty good. Follow-up, multi-hits, that's a good high amount. And then, I didn't look at Sokka's attack stat. But Clayman's dead. We're doing like 1.6 million right there on that, which is certainly quite a bit, because obviously he's dead. So, 1.6 million with 174 hits or something around there. Let's now come back and replace Hinata with the new Lumi and see how much higher we get. Alright, so we're back. I did it again. But just checking. We are at 200% attack because we can cap Soe out with the follow-up orbs and the Hinata multi-hit. So we shouldn't really see an increase in our attack stat that much when we switch over to using Lumi. The main difference is going to be the number of hit counters we have for Sokka's sword gimmick. So we should be around 200%, give or take another stack or so, when we switch over to Lumi. Okay, now we'll do the full run. Soe, Blanc, Laplace, Lumi now, Sokka, and Violet. Full Schemer, full physical. This is, minus whatever third character is coming, probably Rimuru. This would probably be a very good setup for a lot of people to maximize the Sokka gimmick. Damage-wise, I mean, even though we have Blanc here, I don't know if we're actually going to get anything out of her buff, because we're going to use the Lumi and the Soka buff more than anything, because they work well together. So, Laplace can orb change here, because everybody is a schemer. We don't need to switch anybody in and then orb change. But now we'll swap in Soka, and then we'll take out Laplace for Violet. That way just we get some extra protection gauge. Lumi, because she is level 104, is going to give us a little bit extra skill points on the next turn as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to be up to 110, and then we'll get another like 4 points or something from her trait. But we are counting the hits, but we have not activated Lumi's skill yet. And the main difference in Lumi's skill in this fight specifically is that you're getting 1 additional hit per green orb, because she's doing 3 hits instead of the Hinata's 2 hits. The AoE gimmick that it has attached to it doesn't really matter, because we're only fighting 1 person, so there's only 1 person to hit to begin with. So we're not really getting any benefit off of the first part, the all-target attack state. If there were 3 people, then it would matter a lot, but there's not, so. But it does last for 2 turns, so what we'll find is that this skill will actually be cheaper to use, because we just have to use it not as often as Hinata, which makes using skill points and planning for the final nuke turn a whole lot easier and much more efficient. Because now Laplace lasts for 2 turns, the multi-hit lasts for 2 turns. That's fantastic. Let's go ahead and use Soe. And let's see his barrier crumble very, very quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So boom, we get this like big AoE damage effect, which would, again, be great if it mattered, but it doesn't. But we are getting multiple hits. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hits per that. The follow-up orbs don't get anything out of the multi-hit or anything like that. So, counters are nice though. But notice that the counterattack is a single attack, because all these things that are going on are orb buffs. A counterattack is not based on sending an orb. So counter will just give you that 1 hit. But it still does count towards the actual Soka hit counter, which is good. Lumi ult will give us stacking weakness strike, but you can see that we still have the AoE, the multi-hit, and the follow-up Seeking Souls, because they last for 2 turns. We don't have to use Lumi again until next turn, which is just great. Let's use the sword gimmick again, though, that way it's just active for the entire rest of the fight. And, yeah, I think we'll just do this. Again, I'm not really worried about Soka's nuking potential right here. I just want to see the damage of the swords, but this will be the first time seeing Lumi's ult, so we'll make sure that it's on. I don't think I've used it today, but gotta make sure. Alright. So the ults don't get the follow-ups, they don't get the multi-hits, because they're not a green orb. They're an alt orb. And even if we had someone with, like, the Jean Spirit Master skill where it makes it work like a blue orb, I don't know if we would get a follow-up off of that, or anything. Could be interesting science when that actually happens, though. But the ult does look pretty cute. Her expressions and stuff are cute, the pose is cute, the actual, like, claw coming down, meh. That part is fairly unimpressive to me, but, you know, she looks good. And then Soka, my beloved, always looks good. And, yeah, what damage, sure, whatever. But we are still getting the multi-hits and the AoE effect, and we'll get the 4 follow-up orbs off of this, and we're already up to 118 hits on turn 3. So we are getting, 1 extra hit per green orb over Hinata, which doesn't seem like all that impressive, especially if you have Hinata, but if you don't have Hinata, and this is your first time doing this and your hit counter is already this high, like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But now the greens do not have those effects, so now we gotta use it again. But unlike the last clip where it cost 85 points to use Hinata on this turn or the final turn, we don't have to do that. It's gonna cost 45. And then it's active for the entirety of the 5-turn fight, which is just, again, fantastic. Let's actually get Lumi out of here. That way we can send a full hand of orbs. And let's do just the full rainbow convert as well. So now they're going to be buffed. I guess we could bring Blanc in and try and get her buffed even more. Yeah, let's do that. So let's also turn this off again. We've seen Lumi's ult, so we don't need to do anything else. Technically, these orbs are getting buffed by the Sokka, but let's do an extra 40 points. Well, do we actually get the EX ult here for Sokka? We sure don't. Oh well. Not a big deal. So barrier already gone. We're up to 152, and this is still only turn 4, and we still have a lot of hits to go. So we are going to very easily eclipse what we were doing with the 172, 174 hits that we did with Hinata last turn. We're already above that. And we still have one more turn of attacks to go through as well. So, let's do the control stack, because now we can get the ult resistance down. Let's do the free points with Blanc. Now we're up to 150, and then we'll bring in Lumi for Violet, and we'll bring in Laplace for Blanc, since we're not going to use Blanc's buff. So, let's do the Sokka buff, which is giving us synergy rate and synergy power, and then the Lumi buff, which is physical attack, and then synergy resistance down, which right now is 120% because it's within 5 turns. So by activating synergy rate, we can benefit off the synergy resistance debuff, which is being enhanced by the control stack, so it's actually 156%. Pretty good. And then we'll change all these to greens, which still have the multi-hit and the follow-up gimmick, because everything's active for 2 turns. So we'll send Lumi again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think this will kill Clayman, but it could be wrong. 776, more weakness strike for Sokka, that's good. And then Sokka, that's not great, but whatever. And what do we actually end up doing here? 216 hits, quite a bit higher. 220, 222, 224. 224 hits is pretty good. That hurt a lot. Laplace is probably dead. Oh no, he lived, wow. Oh, to counter. And then the final combo, and we're doing 2.1 million damage. And again, I didn't check the attack stat on Sokka. But it's going to be around the 200%. Because once you cap out at 60% per turn with Soe, it doesn't go any higher. And we could do that with Hinata. So we could also do it with Lumi. So we would also be around 200. It's just we got many, many more hits, which gave us more damage on the swords. So, it's pretty good. I'll go back and I'll run another thing just to see what her attack stat is, just for science. Yeah, okay, we're back 205%. So we got one extra stack along the way to turn 5. So, it's not really enhancing the amount of attack you're going to get out of the Soe stacking effect, right here, the Inspire gimmick, because you are pretty much always hitting that with Hinata if you have the multi-hit. Either Hinata, Protector Piece, or the Commander. But what it is doing, it is enhancing the hit counter more than anything, and that's a pretty big factor in your damage output. So the attack stat will be about the same, the hit counter will be very much higher. Alright, we're gonna make use of her kit on a team where, like, the multi-hit isn't the most integral factor, but it can be at least slightly entertaining. So we're going to run this green orb-focused team in the very old Tempered Edge stage, because it's an AoE fight. Veldora, or sorry, not Veldora, Velzard, giving us green orbs. Great. Diablo here for the synergy and the synergy rate, which will enhance, give us access to the synergy that Lumi needs to get her synergy resistance debuff activated. The physical buff will be good because we are bringing the physical AoE Soe. So that'll work out pretty well. And then Ice for orb changing if we need it, and then this Rimuru for shits and giggles, I guess. But we kind of need a good turn 1, so I'll be right back. That'll work. Alright, we can do that. Let's just use the free green buff, because it's free. And we'll leave Isis up front, and we'll bring Yuki in. That way... well... no, we don't really need to now, do we, huh? Let's just use this anyways. Because we're going to get binded in for a couple of turns, so let's just do the green buff. We probably don't need Isis after this, because we're just going to get protection gauge here. The green buff from Isis we've used early, so we're going to be pretty set. And we're going to get locked in, but we have, if we get an ult, which we're probably going to with Yuki since we got 5 orbs, then we can just ult swap him with Rimuru and call it a day. But now we should have 90 points, which means that we can use the multi-hit and the AoE, and it should be fairly entertaining. So let's just go do that, and then we'll use Velzard. We'll be buffed up with the element buff as well from Velzard's, which means this AoE and the multi-hit should do extra damage, and if I really wanted to, we could do this, which we are doing an AoE attack now with Yuki, so extra attack on that means that we can have some fun here. It's only going to affect his orbs, though, not the Lumi or Rimuru's, but regardless, everyone is going to do a multi-hit and an AoE attack. So, okay. 1, and 2, 3, 4, 5. And... oh, right, no. He's not a Schemer. That's right. That's the thing. Is if they're Schemer or Octagram Demon Lord, they get the AoE. Yuki is not Yuki is not on Schemer. Or ODL, so he did not get the AoE effect. He did get the multi-hit, though, because that is just... it's just a multi-hit. But you can see that it doesn't say here, versus over here on Rimuru's orb has the all-target attack state, because this Rimuru is on Octagram Demon Lord. So you do have to, build pretty specifically if you want to use that gimmick. But, I mean, we did good damage against that Milim, regardless. And we did some extra little fun damage against these two. And this is what I was talking about, so let's just go ahead and ult swap him away. We should get his EX ult once we're unbinded, and then we can go ahead and buff. And I think we should have enough points to do that, because, yeah, we're going to have over the normal caps. Let's send these over here. Again, we're going to get the multi-hits for these two Rimurus. No, sorry, we're going to get the AoE hit for these two Rimurus, and the multi-hit for all of them. So, AoE, multi... It's fun. It is very much a gimmick, though. Like, I'm not going to go into an Inferno beatdown battle in 2 months that wants blue orbs and bring this Lumi specifically for the gimmick hit, because we wouldn't be running green orbs, and they're only good on greens. Like, blue orbs and oranges, they don't really care. If you have rainbows, that'll work, which rainbows are pretty relevant right now. But let's go ahead and use the physical attack buff, the synergy down. We are within the first 5 turns, so it's 120%. And then we can bring Diablo in and do the synergy rate and synergy power. And then Yuki should probably kill, because this is a very, very old stage. We're going to enhance synergy power even more because of the Drago effect. And now we have an element buff. And yeah, this will be it. So Yuki does 1,000,000 damage. That's fairly good. Physical, we didn't have his other buffs. We didn't have enough points for him. So we didn't have his AoE buff, we didn't have his attack buff, we didn't have the ult resistance down that he could do on his other second skill. So we were missing both of Yuki's personal buffs, and we still did over 1,000,000. Just from Velzard, Diablo, and Lumi, plus we got the fun gimmick. So yeah, she can work outside of the Schemer meta where the multi-hits and the AoEs aren't the most important thing, but she can definitely buff physical characters very, very well if they're synergy focused. Okay, final clip of the video. We're going to go into the Warrior's Mind beatdown battle using the old Warrior's Mind team with a few additions. So we're going to bring Lumi. This is a physical focused team, so the physical buff matters. And because Exalted Champions guy will be able to give Warrior's Mind guy the actual synergy rate and synergy power, then we can benefit off of the other part of Lumi's skill being the synergy resistance down, if we can do it in the first 5 turns. Because that's going to be when it's most powerful. I mean, we can still use it after turn 5, but it'd only be 40% instead of the 120, and obviously 120 is a lot better. I don't think I'll keep you guys in this fight for the entirety. I might just come back for, like, prior to the nuke turn. That way we don't take up too much time. But it is just blue stacking. Orb changer, orb changer, orb changer, the new Lumi. Buff, 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 buffs everywhere. Okay, we're on turn 3. We're doing pretty good. I mean, we can use this skill. We're not going to get the multi-hit, because it only applies to green orbs. But Schemer and ODL will get the AoE attack, which, I mean, again, in this fight, it's a single target thing. It's not really that impactful, but we might as well use it. We do have a few characters who can benefit off of it. So, it is just a gimmick. Like, you're not really going to bring this Lumi specifically for this skill if you're not running Schemer. You're going to bring her for the big-time support buff, but, I mean, if you can and you want to be funny about it, certainly can try. Like, ooh, yeah, look at the AoE attack. It's hitting so many people right now. It's such a good use of 25 points right there. Totally. But we have an ult for Guy. We still have another turn to stack and get some points, so we can do this actually pretty efficiently. We can't use Lumi's buff now, because the debuff is a debuff, and it would go away after the turn is over. But what we can do is we can bring ODL Guy in, no, it's not ODL, but Exalted Champions Guy in, and use his synergy buff early. That way we can just hold on to it. Boom. Gave it to the big time guy, and we'll just take you out of here. And we're going to have another blue orb come in, so we just use Xion, and we can make back a lot of those points that we just spent. And then hopefully this will work out fairly well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 310 points, 2 more stacks of Velzard. We're looking pretty good. I mean, we should be able to kill. This stage isn't overly difficult. It's very, very old. And it was meant for the 1.5 anniversary team, and we're just getting past the 3.5 anniversary, so not a big deal. Let's see, Xion can go away. She's got multiple orbs here. So Guy comes in, we'll use the violet buff. Boom, boom, and we'll have enough points for Lumi down here. Perfect. So let's do... actually, just bring Lumi in now, since we've already used this buff from Guy. I guess we could use the ult rush, but it is whatever. We're gonna get ult resist or synergy down anyways. So 1, 2, 3, and that's about it. Does Violet have any orbs that we can convert with her skill to make it easier? 1. Sure, why not? Why not? So 2 more stacks of Velzard. So we're getting the 120% synergy resistance down. We've got synergy rate, we've got 40% synergy power, 80% ult damage, guaranteed crit damage, and ult resistance down. So, I mean, we've got quite a few things going right now within 5 turns. And Milim doesn't have that much HP. So, crit damage, those are the permanent stacks from Xion. Synergy rate, synergy power, crit damage, physical attack, crit rate, physical attack obviously helping physical Guy. And then Milim has ult resistance down and the 120 synergy down. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Guy should one-shot, honestly. Yeah, 5 million damage right there. She's got a hefty support buff. Like, even if her first skill isn't super-duper extra useful everywhere, it is a fairly solid 90-point support skill when you can synergy. And specifically when you do it within the first 5 turns. It becomes not as useful after 5, but it's still 100% physical attack and 40 synergy down, which is still solid. It's not total ass, like what Soe is doing, right? If you don't have an EX ult, you don't get it. Or if you're after turn 5, it's 20% instead of 100. Like, that's pretty bad. So you can still make use of Lumi after turn 5 if you want to put her on like a turn 8 stacking team. It's just, yeah, you'll be a little bit less powerful than what it would be when it was turn 5. But I think that will do it for the showcase today for the new Schemer Lumi. Let me know what you guys think of her. I think she's solid. I don't know where we're really going to use this skill other than the Schemer meta, so it is very much built-in gimmick. This skill, if you can do it within the first 5 turns and you're running a physical team that's synergy-focused, then yeah, she's going to be really, really good as a damage support. But if you're not running a physical team, then that doesn't matter. If you're not running a synergy team, then this doesn't matter. So it does require you to build a team properly. But other than that, if you put her in a scenario where she's going to be effective, then yeah, she's going to be very good. But again, let me know what you guys think. That's it from me. Take it easy, and I will see you all later.